Okay, so I've seen Zootopia 2, and we have returned to this world that has been established, and Nick and Judy are back solving another case, and even we are back with a follow-up after so many years, and why it took so long for a sequel to come out from Disney Animation Studios. And I have to say, I adore this movie. I think it has the same tone and more like a different style, but like the same meaning and love as the first movie did, and that's what I'm going to talk about here right now. And so this will be my full non-spoiler review, go over my thoughts and my impressions if this worked as a sequel, and even for what we are introduced, especially to the new creatures and expanding the world of Zootopia, and much more as well. So if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so much on any future videos. But now let's talk about Zootopia 2. And now, I have to say, when we were first introduced to this world, I thought it was very brilliant with the concept of these animals living in this city. It has a meaningful, loving message that you can be anything you want to be. And I thought it was very impressive just with the way that it was executed. And I thought with the way of I tried to get to audiences around the world, and I really did. And even with Nick and Judy, they are a great pairing, but even with Judy specifically as going to solve their first case, and they really did it well, especially in the first movie. But now going into the sequel, and even why it took so long, because they wanted to come up with like a new story and how this was going to work, how they could possibly pull it off. Because even with Disney sequels from animation are these days, and even though it's like a little bit complicated to pull something off, especially from the world of Zootopia, and even with the first Zootopia that was very successful. But now I have to say, I was very much satisfied for what the second movie had to pull off, and even with Nick and Judy that are now like on the case, they are now working together, and I think that this is like a great time to be using them. And I think this was a very much needed, long-awaited sequel, because we got to see this pairing again. This is like a role that we fell in love with, and I think we learned something new about them that we never have before. And I think Nick and Judy are very much developed well, and for what we get to explore in this world and for what it's been expanded upon. And I think they did a very great job of trying to introduce something new without having it be like a rehash, but like even to introduce new stuff, but also keep that tone, keep that friendliness, the thing that we love about the first movie. And I think this was a very good second movie. And yeah, you know, especially with the humor and with the adventure feeling, it still has a feel-good story about just with Nick and Judy just like solving another case, and that is involving Gary the Snake, played by Kiwi Kwan. And I think it was a very much adorable thing, and I think like it's just like a brilliant way of like going to new places, setting up for what's to come for Nick and Judy. And I think their friendship as partners are now tested. Like you with moments throughout the film that I fell in love with, and this is when we really get to introduce something more about them that now from the first movie, now with the second movie, has now been established for like Disney animated sequels. And they did like they do very well of like putting these out and like attracting audiences that really enjoyed the first movie. But now going to the second movie, it is a very satisfying sequel in my opinion, and I think it like carries that heartfelt feeling. It carries like so much messages, and like just from the static cast and like the voice cast that were added to the sequel, and I think it is very much so cool. And I think they did a brilliant job of trying to establish the way that we love about the first movie, but expand it a little bit more, but like keep that feeling from the first movie into the second. And that's what I pretty much enjoyed for the most part. It was a very much lovely experience. It really takes itself the audience into this world, and even if you enjoyed the first movie for what it established, you'll really enjoy the second. And the world is much bigger, but they got to explore new things. And while it does feel like its tone and it tries to carry over now into the new story, but it definitely felt like it's the same established concept, but it tries to deliver something new. And with Nick and Judy, oh man, this movie is going to take you on a wild ride than ever before. And I think this is a brilliant execution done well in animation, and I think that there is everything to love about it and everything that you like in a Disney sequel. But I think for what they crack, from the script and how they want to accomplish things, it is right here, just in this film alone. And you with Kiwi Kwan, I mean, he crushed it as Gary the Snake, and for what his backstory is, and I think you'll definitely fall in love for what he has to put into the character. He definitely knows so much just from how this character is made. And I think with Gary the Snake, and I definitely fell in love with him. The second he was on screen, I definitely adored the heck out of him. He is so cute and adorable, and I think younger audiences will definitely love him as well. And even that they want to make it funnier, but have more of a deeper meaning and have those type of tone, but have it to be more of an astounding thing without having to be overshadowed or a rehash of the same thing. But I think it is very much very good, and I think from what I enjoyed from the first movie is getting introduced to the world, and for how Judy was in the world on their first case. But now with Nick and Judy, they are pretty much tested, and you with how their friendship is pulled off, and with everything that happens to them, oh man, it's got that deeper connection that people can relate to, and you get to explore a ton of them as much or more than the first movie did. And I think there are some returning characters, but I think you'll pretty much enjoy the lovable characters that are in the sequel. And I think, yeah, this is a very much great sequel that Disney has ever put out, and I pretty much enjoy my time, and I love everything that Disney Animation puts out, and I think that they do a brilliant job of coming up with new stuff and trying to make us, the audience, feel so impressed for what we're about to be in for. And I think that the sequel will take you on such a ride, and it's also emotional, and even by the end you'll definitely get a deeper meaning and more of a connection between the duo, or how far they want to go with the second movie. And I think you'll definitely be very impressed for what this movie gives you. I mean, even with the second movie, I think it's much good, and even though with sequels they tend not to be good as the first, but trust me, with Zootopia 2, and I think it's so good as with the first movie as well. And also, I really want to put out there is that there is a little tease at the end, right after the credits roll, but I won't spoil anything, but they do tease something at the end that'll get you very excited for what's to come next. I really enjoyed Zootopia 2. I mean, Walt Disney Animation Studios did a brilliant job, and I think that this was a very much brilliant executed concept sequel. And I think the younger audiences will definitely be in for a treat for what this world has to introduce. Nick and Judy are very lovable characters, and they work so well together trying to crack cases. And yeah, I definitely love all the characters, being Gary the Snake, Kiwi Kwan, and there is so much to love about it as well. So yeah, I pretty much enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did as well. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and if you've seen Zootopia 2, let me know what I give you a rating between 1 out of 10. Tell me the highest in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications for videos. You also follow all my social medias, all linked down below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.